Okay, sorry about that. So this is not a right angle triangle because I've calculated the left-hand side of my equation. I called it an equation. 22 square is 484. 8 square plus 19 square is 425. This is not a right angle as 484 is different than 425. Or you can just say left-hand side, which is what we've calculated, is different than the right-hand side. So more than one way of writing it, but you will get a mark to do the 484 here. 1, 2 mark to do those two, and then to make a statement based on what you found. That's your third mark. Okay. So it wasn't too complicated as long as you were not taken away by that 7 centimeter because we didn't need it. Okay. So the next one, oh, you don't need to do vectors, guys.
Yay.
Ever?
No, I found there was quite a few in between that one and the first paper that didn't.
I've tried to look at it, like, not a clue.
They're not too hard. Once we'll go through them, you'll find out. It's just walking your way. So factorize comes quite often. Okay, so factorizing, you will get that. There is no two ways about it. So when I see a fact like a square and a difference between the two, my head is going difference of 2 squares.
2 squares.
Yeah, difference of 2 squares. But remember, you need to def both, right? This is like 2x
Minus
plus 5 times 2x minus 5
Yes, 5.
to get that 1 mark. That's why it's only 1 mark. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it should come very quickly. If you find yourself waiting too long, you still can't get it, then there's a problem. Now, the second bit is asking you to use hence. So you've done this, hence, that means you're going to have to use what's there, simplify this. Yeah, so what's happening now is I'm going to put 2x plus 5 at the top times 2x minus 5. Okay? In order to be able to simplify a fraction, I need to have at the bottom a factor that is either 2x plus 5 or 2x minus 5. So this is where, if you can't remember MAM, you're going to say, okay, I've got a 2x and a 5, I don't know if it's plus or minus, times something to give me 2x squared. So that to get 2x squared, it needs to be x. And now, so you're going to do 2x squared plus 5x.
It's a 2 somewhere, isn't it? To give you
Yeah,
the,
so we need to get here a number to give us negative 10. So it's going to be a 2 here. So now you need to play with plus and minus and so on and so forth. So if I put minus 5x and I get plus 4x, it's okay. Because remember the minus will get me this minus because I've got minus 4x. And then plus 4x will work okay. So without using MAM, I've managed to figure out how to factorize the bottom one because I'm using one of the two here. And I just look.
Sorry, what would the numbers be if you were to use MAM, just out of curiosity?
So if I was to use MAM, I would say, okay, I need to find two numbers, okay, A times B,
Yeah.
which give me 20. Sorry, negative 20.
Yeah.
And if I add them, I get negative 1. So
Yeah.
it needs to be two numbers close to each other to give me 20. What are the two numbers that are close to each other? Because remember, when I'm going to add them up, I'm going to get -1. So two numbers close to each other.
Trying to go over in my head here. It's getting 4 and 5.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So 4 and 5 should give me that. So I'm going to do -5 times +4.
Mhm.
Because remember, I need -1 when I add them.
Mhm.
So then that means I need to change the -x into a 2x squared minus 5x plus 4x minus 10. And this is the bit where I'm going to do the factorization. So this is like the same as x times 2x minus 5. So you can see that 2x minus 5 now coming out. Plus, so I've got 2x, I've got 2 here. So x, 2x. So 4x, you can factorize it with a 2x minus 5 times something. 2x, so 2 times 2x minus 5.
Mhm.
Yeah?
An extra line of work in there, obviously.
And that is x plus 2
You take the
times
other two.
2x
Yeah,
minus 5, yeah. So you do x plus 2 times 2x minus 5.
yeah,
So mom would have got you there. And now you can see that you've got a 2x minus 5. But because I know I was factorizing, I was simplifying after factorizing, I knew it had to be one of those two.
Yep.
Okay, but you're right, it could have been a question where you're asked to factorize 2x squared minus x minus 10. At least you've got it here.
Mhm.
Okay, so 3 marks, 1 for that one. Just right, remember when we did 2x5 and x2, so that would be your 1 mark. A second mark to find the correct minus and plus, and a third mark to now simplify that and that. You need to write this 2x plus 5 divided by x plus 2. That would be your third mark.
See if you keep the brackets installed, does that make a difference? No.
No, it's fine. You can keep them, you can take them away, it's up to you.
Okay.
As long as if you take them away, you make sure that that fraction bar is under the whole 2x plus 5.
Yep.
Okay. So this wasn't too difficult because they guided you. But imagine if someone never got that first one. I find these sometimes a bit of a stinging question because if you don't get the first one, you're going to struggle to get the second one because you won't get the top one unless you're good with MAM. And then you might say, oh, there's somewhere I've made a mistake here. Let me go back to this one. Usually people that understand MAM are very quick to spot difference of 2 square.
Mhm.
So this one, we've got a bearing question. So what we've been told here, we've got a diagram. Dunbridge is 15 kilometer west. So whenever you see this question where they tell you it's west or east, that means you've got a 90-degree angle between. So the bearing of Fairtown is 126. From Elsford, the bearing of Fairtown is 230. Calculate the distance between Dunbridge and Fairtown. So we're looking for this distance here. So I've got a side. If I can find an angle, then that means I can associate it with that side. So if we can calculate angle DEF and DFE, we've got both angles. So if we can find this angle and this angle,
So
then
where
we've got
it's,
the
yeah.
sine rule that we could use because we've got a side and an angle, a side and an angle.
So where it says the actual letter E, that would be a right angle. So would that
Yep.
not be
Exactly.
230 plus 90, which is
Correct.
113, and you take that away from your 360?
Correct.
90, 230, yeah.
So
And you do the same for this one. You get 126 take away, then you've got your that angle. You find that angle, you find that angle, then that gives you that angle. Yeah? So
so it'd be
90,
36 on the left-hand side angle.
let's
That'd
see.
be 126 take away 90.
So let me do the first one, 230 plus
On
90
the other side.
minus 360. So you said this angle would be 40. Yeah, so 40 degree for that angle. This one
Would be 36.
so 90 take away, yeah, be 36, would they?
Well, I'd say that's 126 take away 90, because
Yeah.
126 is taking you onto the triangle, so you're only taking away the 90 so that you've got what the inner
That is.
B is. So that gives you
36.
36, and then you'd have your 36 plus your 40, which is 76, and take that away from 360, which would give you 284 for angle F.
Or
200.
180. You take it from 180.
180, so what
yeah,
did I say? 60?
360. So then you get your 104 here.
Yep.
Yeah, because all
104.
angles, yeah, all angles in the triangle add up to. Then you've got your sine rule. So
Yep.
to get your first mark, if you get those angles, 40 and 104, that'd be 1 mark. Then applying the sine rule, so df, which is what you're looking for, divided by sine 40 equal 15 divided by sine 104.
104.
Then we're looking for df, so that gives you a second mark. So you've got mark for angle, mark for the sine rule. Then you just write df equal 15 times sine 40 divided by sine 104. That gives you your third mark, and that is 9.9 when you do the calculation. So you've got 36 dot dot dot, but you can, to one decimal place, you can just say 9.9 kilometer, because you've decided, you've rounded it, you just put 1 dp, and that's your fourth mark. So the only difficulty was really to spot those two angles and using the sine rule with it. But like I said, once they tell you it's west from that, or then you know these are 90 degree. You just put them in. Okay.
Yep.
So the next question. So bearings, for some reason, people find them quite difficult, but they're not the most difficult ones. You just need to be, step by step going through them. So here, if I'm asked to find the gradient of a line, the first thing you say is, I need to write this as y equal mx plus c, right? I need to find m. That means I need to rearrange this equation and have y as the subject. So I can just say 3x minus 10 equal 5y, right? I can send y on the other side. If I just do plus 5y on both sides, just to get me into positive, yeah?
Yep.
Now, I can just divide by 5 both sides, but remember, you need to divide everything by 5. So not just 5 over 5, that's a 1. But you need to do 3 over 5 minus 10 over 5. Then I've got my answer, m equal 3/5 of x. What's 10 over 5? 10 divided by 5?
2.
Yeah.
Two.
So use your, remember, this is a calculator question. So put that on your calculator, 10 at the top, 5 at the bottom on your calculator, and then you've got your answer there. So find the gradient. Actually, I didn't even need that part. You would just say m equals 3 over 5.
Just rearranging it, like, and reshuffling it and then finding it in that form.
Yeah.
Almost like changing the subject, kind of.
It's changing the subject, almost like
3 over 5. So you get a mark to write it like that, the first mark, and then the second mark to get your gradient. Okay. So we're just going to finish with this one. I'll give you a tip how you would answer this one.
Two identical shapes are used for.
So when you see something like this, the first thing is you need to try and get here right angle triangles. Okay, so the circle have center C1, C2, the radius of each is 14. So that means this line here is 14.
Wait, I thought that this far too literally. Kind of, I don't know.
But when they went AB is 48, and you've got exact same shape,
Half, 24.
then that means that length here is 24.
Aye. Yeah.
But then to get a right angle triangle, we need to take half of 24 again.
12.
That becomes 12. That was the only difficult part here, is to be able to identify that I've got a right angle triangle here, and this is 14 centimeter, and this is 12 centimeter. Now, look at the height. The height is the radius, yeah?
Yeah.
Which is 14.
Plus
The radius again, which is 14.
14, so it gives you 28.
you need to find
Plus this height here twice.
So do you just need to find that once and then
that once, that's it. So if I'm going to call that x, Pythagoras tells me that x square is, because it's a shorter side, is the longest side minus the other short side. So 14 square minus 12 square, that is 52. So that gives you a mark for this. Then x is just root of 52. So root of answer
7.211.
7.2, yeah. So we can do 7.211 if you want. So height, like we said, is 2 times 14 plus 2 times 7. Did they tell us to round it? No.
No, it doesn't say.
Give your answer. No, it doesn't tell us calculate the height. So you can say, okay, I've rounded it to 1 decimal place. So 2.14, and that gives you 42.
42.422222.
Yeah, 0.4 centimeter to 1 decimal place. So try and not put too many decimal places when what you've been given. You can't be more accurate than the data given to you, basically. So with 1 decimal place, that's more than enough.
It's 42 centimeters.
So something that looked quite difficult to start with, we just broke it down by spotting a right angle using Pythagoras and the 4 marks. So this is 1 mark there. This is 7.2 that we need to find as another mark. Pythagoras is another mark. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 7.2. So I've got 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4.
3,
1, 2, yeah, 3 to make it. This is the equation. That's how I'm going to find the height and then do the calculation. Okay.
Yep.
That's it. Actually, the first mark, sorry, it's not this one. The first mark is to spot the right angle triangle. If you spot that, so you don't need to put it here. You can put it on your paper somewhere here and just say, oh, I can see here, I've got 14, 12, and I'm looking for this. Just putting that gives you a first mark. So whenever you're going to have shapes that's got that tunnel thing in it, and from a center, just get any right angle from it and just draw it, put the radius,
yeah,
and put half of the distance, and that's you 25% of the mark. So even if you got a minute left for your paper, you've left that to the end, get that out, okay? Then use Pythagoras to get 50%. Okay? So I went a bit quick there, but
no, that was
got an
fine.
idea. Yeah, so don't worry about the last one. You're not going to get anything as hard as the last one. We can look at it next time. So only 2 questions left before 14, yeah. Okay, so this is diagram, calculate the size of an angle based on the major arc. So they've given you the major arc. They ask you now to find the angle. As long as you remember that it's theta divided by 360 time, because it's arc pi d, and the diameter here is 6.4 times 2.
So is that's calculating the reflex angle? So it's
Yeah.
not the same like you would make a minor arc, major
So
arc.
basically this is equal to 31.5. That's what you're looking for.
You need to do something like that.
31.5 is your major arc. The only thing you don't know this time is the angle there. So if you do pi times 2 times 6.4 divided by 360, sorry, not pi, yeah, theta times something. So if I do 2 times 6.4 times shifter pi divided by 360, I get something like 0.1117 equal 31.5. Now you'd need to divide 31.5. You remember you divide both sides by 0.1117, and that gives you your angle,
Okay.
which is 282
269.
degree. That's it. Your 3 marks. So writing this gives you a mark. Doing the calculation gives you a mark. And then finding the value. Yeah. So that's how you get your 3 marks. But you need to remember that angle divided by 360 times pi d.
So you don't know your angle?
So that's why you know everything but the angle. It's a bit like I'm
So if you
asking
put
you.
that into your calculator, what would you put in?
So you put pi times 2 times 6.4 divided by 360, and it gives you that 0.1117.
Do you put brackets around it when you're doing that in your calculator?
No, you just type pi times 2 times 6.4 divided by 360, and it should give you 0.1117.
117. Yeah, no, I've done it.
So now it's the same as if I ask you 3x equals 6. How do you find x? So this time is 0.117 times theta equal this. How do you find theta? You just told me you divide by 3 both sides. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to divide by 0.1117 both sides, which is that. And that's how you find x. It's just solving. But you'll used to use like 2x and stuff, but this time it's just a number times theta. 3 is just an easy number. You might see this as being a harder number, but anything that you know the value of and you do the calculation, it's giving you a number.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So that's us. We went through mostly the 2 papers. And you can see, it takes time, but at least you've got the steps and the wee bit of difficulties to avoid. Okay, but if you've got any question as well, remember guys, just send me by email or let me know. I'm going to